Sober Girls Yoga by the Mindful Life Practice. Hi yogis, welcome back to Heal. For today's practice, we will be working towards our Mermaid Pose, which is a variation of pigeon pose with a little bit of a back bend. So we're going to start our practice in our Virasana pose. So you might come to bring your knees together, roll your calves to the side, sit the hips back, and then just sit on the earth. And then perhaps you bring your palms together, pinkies and thumbs connect, open the hands into a lotus. And I invite you to think about, in what ways can love be a superpower? So throughout this series, we've been thinking about forgiveness and self-care and opening up our hearts, and how is this all going to be a superpower? Let's bring our palms together and then just allow the palms to rest on the thighs. Now, option to stay exactly where you are, or perhaps you start walking your palms backwards. Maybe you roll all the way down onto the earth, just landing the palms on the belly, taking about 5 deep breaths. Taking one more breath in, one more breath out. And then we're going to make our way all the way up, pressing through the elbows, coming all the way back up to seated. And you can bring your body onto your hands and your knees, perhaps tuck the toes, sit the hips back, and rest the heels on the tucked toes. Just see how that feels for a few breaths. And then release your palms, come all the way forward. Let's release the feet and pedal them all the way out. And then spread through the palms, spread through the fingers, and tuck the toes. Lift all the way up and back to your first downward facing dog. Now, maybe you explore stepping the feet in a little bit. Leave your left palm where it is. Reach your right arm back, grab hold of the ankle, and just see how that feels to twist. And then we'll come all the way back with the right palm and then twist the other way. Come all the way back with the left palm, just arrive in a neutral. And then let's leave the left foot where it is. Lift the right leg all the way up. Take some circles with the knee. Opening up through the hip a little bit, eventually lengthening the right leg up. And then draw the right knee in. You're going to step the foot between the palms. Rock forward and back. And then land onto the left knee. Lift the arms all the way up. Choose your arm variations. You can interlace palms, release index finger and thumb. You could do eagle arms. You could do your cow face arms. There's so many different arm variations we've learned throughout this series. So just pick your favorite one. Let's leave our palms onto the earth now. Leave the left palm where it is. Lift your right arm all the way up. And then thread the right palm back, landed on the sacrum. Maybe you kick the foot back, coming into a quad stretch. For 3, for 2. And then on 1, let's release the foot, take the right palm forward, And just walk the fingertips back, lengthen over the right leg. Taking a few breaths in and out. Practicing your half Hanumanasana. And then walk your hands all the way forward. And let's just wiggle our right foot across the width of the mat. Come into a pigeon and pause for a few breaths. Just staying in an upright pigeon. So one of my yoga students said to me that she really dislikes when pigeon poses in the middle of a flow. So I apologize if she is watching this video. But we're putting it in the middle of the flow because we're working towards a challenging pigeon pose at the end of the practice. So let's stay for one more breath. And then just land the palms, tuck the toes, lift all the way up, step back to a plank, and then move through a vinyasa flow, lowering down, opening the heart, shifting all the way up and back, down dog, stepping the feet in. Let's do it the opposite way. So leave the right foot where it is. Lift the left leg up. And then draw the knee in. Step the foot between the palms. Rock forward and back. And then we'll land onto the right knee. Again, choosing your favorite arm variation. Maybe you're interlacing your palms, releasing your index finger and thumb, opening through the heart. And then release the palms, land the right palm where it is, lift your left arm all the way up. Move into a twist. So you can send the palm onto the sacrum, maybe kick the foot back, come into a quad stretch. Take 3 more breaths where you are. And then release your right foot. Take your left palm forward. Walk the fingertips back. Lengthen over the left leg. Take one more inhale. One more exhale, and then just walk your hands all the way forward. And now we're going to wiggle the left foot across the width of the mat and just come into an upright pigeon and stay for a few breaths. Staying for 3, staying for 2. And then on 1, can you tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, step your left foot back, move through a flow so you lower down, you open the heart, and then you shift all the way up and back to find your down dog. Step the feet in. Breathe in and out. Now leave the left foot where it is. Lift your right leg all the way up. Bend through the right knee. Perhaps you come all the way forward and flip your dog. So you roll all the way forward, landing your right toes, lifting your heart. And now I invite you to explore how it would feel to try and move this into a wheel. So you might step your foot in, and then maybe your right palm lowers all the way down. Just see how that feels. And then eventually we'll push all the way up. Lift the right leg all the way up and back. And draw the right knee in. Step the right foot between the palms. Lift all the way up. Come into your crescent lunge. Choose your variation. So maybe you interlace the palms, release index finger and thumb, maybe choosing another option. And then eventually you are going to shift weight onto the right foot, come into your warrior pose. And from this warrior, let's come all the way up. Stack the left ankle onto the right thigh, sit back into your standing pigeon. Give it 3. Give it 2. And then give it 1. Lengthen all the way up and just land your left foot alongside your right. Keep your palms at your heart center. Let your thumbs connect to your heartbeat. Breathe in and breathe out. Let's inhale, lift our arms up towards the sky, look up. Exhale, fold the body forward. Breathe in, halfway lift, lengthen through the heart. And then exhale to lower back down, plant the palms, step the feet back, move through a flow. Lift the heart all the way up. And then come all the way up and back to your down dog, step the feet in. Take some deep breaths in and out. Now let's leave the right foot where it is. Lift the left leg all the way up. Bend through the left knee, stack the hips. And then maybe you come all the way forward, landing your left toes, opening your heart, maybe stepping the foot in. Perhaps you come all the way into that wheel just for a moment. And then lift all the way up. Plant your left palm, lift your left leg up, big breath in. Draw the left knee and step the foot between the palms. Lift the arms all the way up. And then interlace the palms, index finger and thumb connected, lengthen through the heart. Now let's take the palms into our heart center, shift weight onto the left foot, extend the right leg behind you. And then maybe you come all the way up to stand, stacking your right ankle on top of your left thigh, sitting back into a standing pigeon. Just take 3, take 2. And then on 1, come all the way up to stand. Anchor your right foot alongside your left, palms at heart center. Breathe in and then breathe out. One more breath in. One more breath out. Take an inhale, arms up towards the sky, look up. Exhale, fold. Take an inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, lower, land the palms, make your way back to plank, move through a flow. So you lower down, you open the heart, you shift all the way up and back to your down dog. And then we're gonna move through a few back bends. So I wanna invite you to choose whichever back bends you feel like. Maybe you're coming all the way onto the belly and moving through some locust poses. So landing the palms, lifting through the heart. Perhaps you are interlacing the palms, lifting the heart up. Maybe you want to move through that upward bow shape where your feet are connecting back and you are hooking the palms on the ankles and then lifting the heart up. And lowering all the way down, planting the palms underneath the shoulders. Let's lift up. Maybe you choose to come into your camel pose if that was one of your favorites. So being on the knees, planting the palms on the sacrum, shifting the hips back, perhaps grabbing hold of the ankles and just expanding through the chest. Lifting all the way back, landing the feet, sitting back, palms on the knees. Just take a few breaths. So you are more than welcome to carry on with any of those back bends if those felt the best in your body. And if you do want to come into your Urdhva Dhanurasana, again, your full wheel, if you want, you can use the blocks and the strap like I showed you in our last session. Or you might do it without the blocks and the strap at all. So you just come all the way down. Lowering all the way down. Landing the palms, landing the feet. And then pushing through the palms, pushing through the feet, lifting the heart all the way up. Maybe you explore how it feels to lift one leg. And then maybe you explore how it feels to lift the other leg. And then just slowly lower all the way down, arriving in neutral for a moment. And then maybe you draw the knees into the chest. Give your body a little bit of a hug. Let's gently rock all the way up now, coming all the way into seated. So the pose that we're working on today is called Mermaid Pose. And what you're going to need for this posture is your strap. And I have my strap already set up with a little hook around it, which I'm going to use for hooking around my foot. So you might want to do that with your strap as well, like I showed you during the last class. And then what you're going to do is come all the way up into a down dog. Take the right leg up towards the sky. Big breath in. Draw the knee in, lay the shin across the width of the mat, and then snuggle your left knee back. All right, so option 1, you stay exactly as you are, and this is perfect. Option 2, you might take the left foot and either grab it with your hand or grab it with the strap if it's not quite accessible, and just work on like drawing the foot in and out. So you're just kind of like pumping through the quad, creating a bit of space there. And then you might release the strap and snuggle the toes into your elbow. And then maybe you lift the arm all the way up and hook the palms together. So this is your mermaid shape. And know that this might not be accessible in every single body. It might not even be accessible from one side to the next. Like for me, this is much more accessible on this side than it is on the other side. So just know that all of that is totally normal. And then we're going to release the left foot, release the arms, and just come all the way forward onto the elbows. Take some deep breaths in and out. So I've been reflecting a lot on love being a superpower, and I want to tell you a story of something that happened to me while I was in Bali. So there was one day when I was teaching a yoga class and I was on Zoom and I heard a loud explosion of glass shattering. And I kept teaching for a moment and then I thought to check my kitchen and I ran into the kitchen, and what had happened was I left my kettle on and the plastic had melted because I had left it on for so long, and it caught fire and the glass on my stove shattered. And I have this tendency of like working myself up into this spiral where I think that I'm a bad person and I made this horrible mistake and everyone's gonna abandon me because of the mistake I've made. And so I just felt like extraordinary awful and extraordinarily guilty for this mistake. Let's take one more breath, staying in the pigeon pose, and we're going to move through the opposite sides. You can come onto the palms, lift all the way up, find a down dog. If you want to go through a flow, go ahead. I'm going to skip the flow on this side. I'm going to lift my left leg up. Lay the left shin across the width of the mat. Find your pigeon. Snuggle your right hip back. And know that this side might be different. Like my hip is already kind of floating up, and that's okay. I'm going to bend the knee back and then do some pumps with the foot. And then you might be able to bring the toes into the elbow. Maybe you can lift the arm up, expand through the chest. Just take 3, take 2. And then on 1, you can release and come all the way forward. And take your pigeon on this side. So anyway, I was just so worried when I made this mistake that the villa manager was going to kick me out of the villa because I had broken this stove. And They insisted that the only thing that they cared about was that I was safe, was that I wasn't injured. And then they got me a stove within a couple days. But what struck me most was that about an hour after this happened, there was a knock at the door. And I opened the door, and there was this Balinese woman who wanted to do a ceremony for my broken stove. And she lay flowers and brought incense through the house. And then she just hugged me while I cried. And there was no lecture about how I should have stayed in the kitchen while the stove was on. And there was no, I told you so. It was just love and forgiveness and empathy and support. Let's stay here for one more breath. And then we're just going to come all the way up around and send your right leg forward. And then just come all the way onto your back body. Take your strap. And then you can hook the strap around the right foot, and we'll just finish with our forward folding. Extend your left leg long. So anyway, this whole thing struck me as like so moving, because I think this is how we should forgive other people and also forgive ourselves. Right? Lay flowers, spread incense, hug and support one another, because we're all humans and we all make mistakes, and it's how we learn. Just take the strap into the right palm. Open your right leg to the side. And then take the right leg all the way up. Take the strap into the left palm. And then come into a twist. Lift the right leg all the way up. And then just extend the right leg. We'll go into the opposite side. Switch the strap into the left hand. Open the left leg to the side. And let's lift our leg all the way up. Switch the strap into the right palm and then twist the opposite way. Let's lift our leg all the way up. And then release the strap, and then just come all the way into a final resting pose, a Shavasana. And if you do want to join me in a seated shape for your meditation, you're more than welcome to. Coming into a crisscross. For this meditation, we're going to place our palms over our heart chakra at heart center. I want you to picture this center of the body. It's the color green, and it's located in the center of the spine, just around the rib cage. This is the center of our empathy, of our forgiveness, of our love, of our gratitude, of every single thing that we have been cultivating over the past 7 classes so far. With your palms over heart center, maybe sending affirmations of love and healing to yourself. I am loved. I am supported. I am safe. I am whole. Any other affirmations that resonate with you. And then just feel that green light emanating from your heart, surrounding you, enveloping you. In loving kindness and gratitude and healing, forgiveness, everything you need. And then just allow your palms to rest. Taking some deep breaths in and out and finding stillness for the next couple moments. Don't let me show cruelty, though I may make mistakes. Don't let me show ugliness, though I know I can hate. And don't let me show evil, though it might be all I face. Show me love, show me love, show me love. Don't let me think weakly, though I know I can break. Keep me away from apathy while I am still awake. And don't let me think too long of the one I'm bound to face. Show me love, show me love, show me love. Show me love, show me love, show me love. Just Give your body a little bit of a wake up wiggle. Nice long stretch, fingers all the way through toes. You can curl your knees into your chest, give your body a nice little hug. And then just slowly make your way up and over to your seated shape with your palms at your heart center. You can bring your thumbs and pinkies together and then just expand the palms outwards. Make that lotus mudra. Think about how love can be a superpower, like it was in the story of the way the people in Bali forgave me and thought about forgiving myself. And then let's just gather up that superpower in heart center and carry it with us through our day. Closing with our intention, the ancient intention, the original intention, passed from heart to heart through thousands of years. And it's that our practice remains steady and our efforts remain continuous, and that our yoga helps and heals and it serves and it benefits all beings everywhere. May we all be safe. May we all be happy. May we all be healthy. May we all be free. May the thoughts and the actions of each of our lives contribute towards this. So let's just finish with an Om sound. We're going to breathe in and breathe out, and breathe in to make the Om. So taking a big breath in, big breath out, big breath in. Thank you so much, yogis, for joining you. Thank you for sharing the space and the practice with me. I'm super grateful for each one of you. The light in me, it sees and it honors the light in you. Thank you. Thank you.